Hey guys, what's up? Rocky is here and I'll be talking about method chaining over here, and welcome to my tutorial on functional programming in JavaScript. Anyways, before the welcome note, I announced what I'm going to talk about, so let's get started because I'm really enthusiastic about teaching this to you. And method chaining is a very important topic in JavaScript, which is used also and also encouraged in functional programming as well. And I would suggest that you will quickly learn it, and it is pretty easy and cool, and it's pretty powerful as well, but a few people find it to be tough and taking it seems to be taking a bit of time to completely understand. Anyways, I'll be giving very simple examples, but you have to understand that there are powerful applications to this method chaining, and you can find over the internet complex functions once you're thorough with the simple examples that I discuss over here. Anyways, let's get started. So what method chaining is that is it's a very common pattern in JavaScript that is found everywhere where JavaScript is implemented. It's even found in various other languages. So this technique is also also called builder pattern. So as you can read over here, so it's a software design pattern, and it allows you to vary a product's internal representation. I took these 3 lines from the wiki pages, so you can go over there and read about builder patterns. It has pretty good info. But for this video, these 3 lines are enough from the page, so I decided to copy those lines. Anyways, as you can see, the next line say that it encapsulates code for construction and representation. So what this means is that you don't know what the code inside is, so that means that you don't have access for it. So it also provides control over steps of construction process, so which is very useful and which is obvious. And also construction details are hidden from the client entirely. So this is something which might be useful because you don't want someone to read your code directly, because you would want to save it, or you don't want to give it away to any other competitor or anyone else. Anyways, this method is also called as cascading in JavaScript programming. So that's what I've seen, but people also call it several other names like builder patterns and all that. So you can also check up if it is called the same in other languages. But since we are talking about JavaScript and functional programming in JavaScript, so I think that let's stick to what's called in JavaScript. Also, it is essentially like this. So it is like calling one method after another in one continuous line of code. So as you can see over here, we have a jQuery example which I'll be discussing in a while. Also, I'll be creating another method chaining event for this piece of code, which is a long block. So anyways, do not worry about that. We'll come to that later. So we also have other points over here which are worth noticing. So we have allows us to read better, so this removes bulky blocks. So instead of creating a long list of long list of pieces of code or methods, you can write it in one line so that it is more readable. So as you can see, the 11th point says that it is effortlessly read chainable code. So that is what it does. So temporary variables are not created in this process. I'll be showing over here how we'll be using temporary variables over here. As you can see, mod 1, 2 and 3. So these variables need not be created, which saves us some space. And also this actually works with this parameter. This is an object, it's not a parameter, I'm sorry. So this object is generally this is pretty useful. So you can see that in JavaScript a lot. And anyways, the 13th point says that it is seen in jQuery a lot, which is pretty common. And whatever I'm going to show over here is actually a jQuery example. So let's get started with the jQuery example fast, so that you start understanding what method chaining is and you can use it. Before that, I'll also specify what all I have used over here. I have created 2 division elements. One is box and box 2. So the box is carrying this method chaining heading over here. So I've used the CSS over here. So you can find this JS simple one in the description below in case you do not understand how it's working or you want to tweak it. You can go ahead and tweak it and try to understand how things are working. Anyways, So also you can find the link for the textbook that I'll be providing, where you can learn various functional JavaScript. So more on that later. So we'll be I'll write it down in the description below. Anyways, let's get going. So over here, jQuery example, I'll remove the comment. So let's remove the comment. Alright, so as you can see, there is a box over here, and the box ID is nothing but the division ID, in which our current heading called method chaining is there. So in this, what I'm trying to say is that text, I'm changing the text to this is due to method chaining, and there is a CSS method over here which says that color should be changed to dark blue. So let's see what happens by running this code. Alright, so as you can see, we have this is due to method chaining in dark blue color, and as you can see, we have only one line of code. So let me minimize this so that it comes into one line. So as you can see, we have just one line. So what we can do is that we can directly we can actually I'll show you how this can be broken down. So let's say we have another dollar over here. Dollar is pretty it's a useful sign used in jQuery, so go ahead and learn jQuery if you haven't, or else you don't need to learn jQuery if you aren't interested. This course does not include jQuery anyway. So what I do is that I create something called $box.css in a separate line, and let's see what happens. Alright, so as you can see, we are able to run this over here, but you see that there are two lines of code, and there is this $hashbox repeating. So instead of dealing with this, what you can do is that you can delete this and directly concatenate with the other operator, the other method, and then you add another semicolon, and you see that this is completely working just fine. So in this way, you can add any amount of methods to this box element, so you can directly tweak it as much as you want. So this is something pretty useful and very common in the jQuery world. So you might like it. So you might like this method of builder patterns a lot. Anyways, builder patterns refers to something a bit more better and a bit bigger one. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever examples over here are pretty simple. So there are real-time large-scale applications to this, which you can find everywhere. I'll leave a few links if I can find anywhere. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's get going. So I'll comment this out again. So let's see what we have right now. We have something called even list over here, where I have added the numbers of the even numbers. So what I've done is that I've created an array called even list, in which 2, 4, 6, 8 have been fed in. So mod1 is another array. What it does is that it uses the reverse command and reverses the elements, so it makes it 8, 4, 6, 2. And then mod2 concatenates 10, 12, and mod3 concatenates 14, 16. So I'll do one thing. I'll increase the size of this in the CSS so that we can look at it better. Just give me a minute. So let's say font size, I'll make it about 43x. Oops, it is boxed. Okay. Alright, so as you can see, we have 8, 6, 4, 2, 10, 14, 16. So what is happening over here is pretty simple. You might have already guessed it. So what is happening here is that mod1 is reversing it, so that we have 8, 6, 4, 2. And then the second array, which is mod2, what it does is that it concatenates 10, 12, so that now we have 10, 12. And then mod3 concatenates 14, 16, and over here you can see that we have that. Anyways, I have used concatenate twice because I wanted to show how this can be useful, how we can use the method chaining in a better way. So you can use other kinds of functions, so it need not be concatenate. But I didn't find any other function immediately, so that so I was left with no other option. Anyways, there are multiple other options that you can do with this arrays. You can find reverse, you can do mappings, you can do a lot of other stuff. Anyways, go ahead and do that. You can after learning about this in this video, you can do all that within no time. Anyways, going ahead, so I have a document.getElement by id box2.html, and over here I'm passing this mod3 so that mod3 gets printed as you can see on the screen. So now I'll show you another way how we can do all this. So what I'll do is that essentially I'll remove something. I'll remove this called this one called mod1 and also mod2, and I'll take this over here and fill it over here. And then there is nothing called mod2 because we deleted it, and similarly there is nothing called mod1. So what I do is that I take this out as well, and then I feed it over here with a dot. So now we have mod3, we have event list and reverse concat and concat twice. Alright, so let me run it and let's see what happens. So as you can see, we still have this list over here. So I just ran it and we still have this list. So what does that mean? So if at all I want 18 over here, you see that it is happening. So it's all working pretty fine. What this means is that this can be used, this one single line command can be used to do a lot of operations like concatenation, reversing, mapping, etc. So what this does is that it reduces the readability, it reduces the blockiness and increases the readability. So you can effortlessly read the code, read the chainable code, and it works with this being returned. All this can be done in bigger patterns which are found online. I'll leave few links. What happens in other functions is that in this, let's say we have the reverse function, which is already inbuilt function. So it has this in it, so which returns a lot of values. So similarly, whatever functions you come up with, you can create this for that, so that this dot return or this dot something returns something. Alright, so that is pretty simple to understand once you get it in, once you dip into your functional programming. As we see other examples coming up, it will be clear. So what I'll do is that I'll leave a few links, and also I'll come up with other examples in other tutorials so that I will get going. And also I would suggest that you start working on JS Fiddle as usual, so that our work gets simpler and you can understand it by practical application. Anyways guys, that's the end of this video. So go ahead and type out your comments. Tell me what you would like to know or what you would like to see learn next. So I'll be taking all the comments and in a positive note. And also leave me a comment, leave me your JS Fiddle link so that I can see and give a nice comment. I'll give a good comment on it. Also do me some help by helping me grow. You can give me a like, a thumbs up, and also share it with your friends. Share these videos, tell them to learn about functional JavaScript programming. And also stay tuned to my channel because I'll be coming up with various more amazing stuff on JavaScript. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. This is DeRaze signing off. I'll talk to you later via another video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.